Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in for week 13 power rankings. Now, this past week 12, kind of crazy. Had some upsets. We had some teams do some things that we're not accustomed to seeing them do. Last week's power rankings are definitely going to change. But before I do that, make sure you guys leave the video a like as it continues to help this channel to grow and it beats the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not sub, click the subscribe button and notification bell. And I am trying to get to 6K subscribers before the end of 2025. So we're getting closer. We're getting closer. So click the subscribe button, notification bell so you're not missing anything. But without further ado, let's dive into it. All right, like I said, here are last week's rankings, week 12. Like I said, they are subject to change. So let's just see what we got this week. All right, so we got teams that don't play football, you don't move. The Broncos are S on a bye week. They are going to continue to remain there. The Chargers are at a B at a bye week. We're going to make them there. The Dolphins, they were at the C tier. We're going to have them there. And the Commanders, they are at a D. We're going to have them there. Then let's get into this week's games. Houston Texans versus the Buffalo Bills. Honestly, I'm putting the Buffalo Bills down at B, and this is why. You guys know I am a Josh Allen fan, but is this team fraudulent? The defense doesn't play well at times. The offensive line looked absolutely horrible, giving up 8 sacks against the Houston Texans defense. That's actually a really good defense. And I said this last week. If Josh Allen isn't all-world great, like just the best player planet Earth, the Bills are going to lose. He didn't have a great game. They were still in it, but the Bills are going to lose. But the Texans, I am going to keep them at B. Davis Mills has steadied the ship without C.J. Stroud, got them 3 straight victories. Then on top of that, this defense is absolutely phenomenal. Will Anderson Jr., Danielle Hunter, Darius Stingley. They've been playing some really good defense down the stretch. And I've always said defense wins championships. You got to score points at some point. The offensive line is still not that great. They don't run the football particularly well, but I'm still believing what the Houston Texans are doing. Next is the New York Jets versus Baltimore Ravens. I am putting the Jets still at D. Still not a very good football team. And it's just a mess. I know Aaron Glenn, he's a good football coach. He just doesn't have the guys to go with it. He just doesn't. Then the Baltimore Ravens have had them at A. They are playing hot 5, winners of 5 in a row. They can correct some things. Their defense has been playing a lot better. Offensively, I still think that the Ravens offensively haven't established typical rhythm. I think that will actually come back at some point. But I'll give this team an A. Next is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus my Chicago Bears. I had the Steelers at B. This couldn't be one of the more head-scratching football teams in the league. They're one of them. That defense, they couldn't stop Caleb Williams' passing game to save much of their lives. They did do okay against the run. The Bears didn't have 100 yards rushing. But when we're talking about the Steelers offensively, they lack shots down the field. They lack explosion, and their running game played phenomenal against the Bears. But when you cannot take deep shots and teams are knowing you're throwing underneath, there's only so much you can do as an offense. Now, it does help that the Bears are hampered by linebacker injuries, and I'm leaving the Bears at A. 4 games in a row. The Bears are 8-3 leaders of the NFC North, and I don't want to talk about the Bears all day because you guys know I can. But this Bears team, offensively, they have been playing well. Defensively, they've been hampered by a lot of injuries and still find their ways in ball games. So I'm going to give the Bears an A. Next is the New England Patriots. I still think a phenomenal football team. Still think one of the best teams in football. Defensively, they've been playing solid. Offensively, it looked a little bit shaky at times against Cincinnati, but they found a way to manage to win that football game. And then when we're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals, doesn't help that T. Higgins is out. Joe Burrow is supposed to be coming back, but honestly, This team is dead. It's 3-8. There's no way they're making it back to the playoffs. I know Joe Burrow's a competitor, and he's probably going to want to go out there as a guy that wants a competitor that's going to play some football, but their defense is still bad. Joe Flacco, he may have made his last start in the NFL. Next, we're going to have the Detroit Lions and the New York Giants. I can't put the Lions. I can't move the Lions. I cannot move the Lions. Something about that defense is kind of suspect to me. Something about it. Offensively, we know they can score points with the best of them. Jahmyr Gibbs is the best back playing right now in football. It's just something about this team that's missing, whether it's defensive consistency, whether it's something in the offensive side of the ball. Something about this team is missing. Jahmyr Gibbs is phenomenal, though. Then at the Giants, Jameis Winston did his absolute best. They played a hell of a lot better game than I anticipated this team playing. But that defense just cannot hold a lead. Defensive coordinator gets fired. We already got the head coach getting fired. This Giants team is a complete mess. And oddly enough, they're the first team already eliminated mathematically from the playoffs. Next is the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. I have the Vikings at C. I am so close to dropping the Vikings to D. J.J. McCarthy, I seen this when he was at that team up north. He's not the guy. If he doesn't have a running game and a phenomenal defense, he was the quarterback in college that didn't mess it up. And his flaws wasn't so much to be shown. And his flaws are showing now that it's pressure on him to play and throw the football well. It's very inaccurate. I think the receiver's probably going to be frustrated. Offensively, this team is frustrating. And defensively, you can only do so much. And I always said, the Vikings are a good team is going to fall. Their defense is getting older. So, and then we're going to talk about the Green Bay Packers. I can't move Green Bay Packers to A. I still believe this is a good football team. I still believe that their defense, one of the better defenses in the league, that they have been inconsistent at times. Offensively, they have still been inconsistent at times. They played solidly against the Minnesota Vikings. It sucks that they didn't have Josh Jacobs in that game. Emmanuel Wilson plays. They ran the ball phenomenally well. But Jordan Love, I've always said, something about him is just, he's a little bit too inconsistent. Next is the Chiefs and the Colts. I'm dropping the Colts down. This was a game where they had a lead and he just could not muster much offensively. And it was proof that the Chiefs tried to have Daniel Jones beat them. He couldn't do it. And I'm giving the Chiefs, I'm still leaving the Chiefs at B. I personally think the Chiefs are still in hot water. They're still in hot water. There's a lot riding on this game on Thanksgiving, but they played well down the stretch. They finally committed to running the football, which that is something they have been reluctant to do all season. Defensively, they made the plays and made the stops that they needed to make in order to get themselves back in this ballgame and win it. But I'm still going to keep them at B. Yo, what's up, guys? APW Sports here, and today's video is being brought to you by ExpressVPN. Now, there's a few things I really like about having ExpressVPN. One, I feel protected. Being on the internet a lot as a content creator, or being on the internet, period, especially in the 2025 modern era, you're going to need protections from hackers. You're going to need protections from your passwords. You're going to need protections from your vital credit card, vital personal information. ExpressVPN does an excellent job of protecting you. And also, if things happen to slip or if things have been exposed before, you will get alerts to your phone that will let you know that things have been exposed to the dark web and that you should take action. And then another thing that I really like about it is that you can unlock more of Netflix. Now, me personally, if you guys don't know, I am a big WWE fan. And since the WWE has a partnership with Netflix in the international areas, you can get your PLEs, you can get your Raw, SmackDown, NXT, all things WWE on Netflix. Best thing to do, switch your location to say a Canada, to say a United Kingdom, and bam, there you go. You have all your access to your WWE content, and it unlocks more things that necessarily United States does not carry. And that is another thing that I really love about ExpressVPN. So to get yours today and get 3 months free, click the link below and use code APW Sports at checkout to get 3 months free of ExpressVPN. You will not regret that at all. Best investment you will ever make. Protect yourself and unlock more television on Netflix to watch. Now, we're going to get back to this video. Next is Seattle Seahawks and Tennessee Titans. I'm keeping the Seahawks as S tier. I'm all over the place. And I am keeping the Titans at D. Titans are kind of like the Giants. They're a mess. They're all over the place. Coach gets fired. They are just a mess of a football team. And Jackson Smith-Jigba from the Ohio State University is playing like the best wide receiver in football. Sam Darnold, bounce back game. We know that Seahawks defense is one of the more stout defenses in the league. I'm still a believer in the Seahawks team, believe it or not, after that Rams performance, but I really believe in the Seahawks team. Next is the Jacksonville Jaguars and Arizona Cardinals. Keeping the Jaguars B. The Cardinals are a D. This team just is so head-scratching at times. It's just like they have moments where they play well offensively. They have moments where their defense can make some stops. They made some turnovers on Trevor Lawrence. And they just let the ball games go. I think it could be a time of coaching change. I'm not sure. Definitely is a time of quarterback change because I don't think even having Kyler Murray back can solve the Arizona Cardinals' problems. I think it's time for a quarterback change. Jacoby Brissett is a very good backup. But if we're talking about future term, I wouldn't have him as my starter. But that's just me. And Jacksonville, they played well. Trevor Lawrence did make some mistakes. Their defense plays a lot better. I'm just not I don't know, something about Trevor Lawrence is kind of off to me. Something is off. Next is the Cleveland Browns and the Las Vegas Raiders. Two terrible football teams. Well, I would say the Browns have been terrible offensively until Shedeur Sanders stepped in. It looked like this offense got some juice. Defensively, oh my God, Myles Garrett is the best in the world. There is no blocking this man. Defensive player, you're right. There is no blocking this man. And he's going after the sack record, and we're only in week 12. Or going in week 13. And then the Raiders are just terrible. Chip Kelly should have stayed his ass at Ohio State. He's not an NFL coach. It's not. Should have stayed his ass in college. Defensively, I've always said, outside of Max Crosby, that Raiders defense is nothing. Offensively, schematic problems, offensive line issues, offensive line protection issues, Geno Smith issues. It's just trouble in Vegas. That's all I would say trouble in paradise, but basically, yeah, trouble in paradise. Next is the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. I'm dropping the Eagles. Their offense has no identity. Defensively, they were exposed a bit in that second half, but their offense is just inconsistent and it has no identity. In the last 2 weeks, Green Bay and Detroit were carried by their defense. At some point, as an offense, you're going to have to be consistent and score points. And we're at Thanksgiving, and they still haven't figured it out yet. Jalen Hurts has been inconsistent. They can't run the football. They don't have the explosion like they have last year. The concepts are basic. This offense is in trouble, and they've been saved by their defense the majority of this season. And then we're talking about the Cowboys. I'm moving the Cowboys up to a B. That defense played a whole hell of a lot better in that second half. Dak Prescott made critical throws to Pickens, and Pickens becoming one of the best receivers in the league the way he's playing. CeeDee Lamb had some drop issues, but Dak Prescott, he played at MVP level at least in that second half, getting his team to a win. And that defense, all they needed to do was be average, and they have a Super Bowl caliber offense. And these last 2 weeks, they've been playing like it. So I'm going to move them up to a B. Next, the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. Falcons stay at C, Saints stay at D. This was a game I thought the Saints were going to win with the injuries to Drake London, the injuries to Michael Penix Jr. in out for the year. And the Saints did get a little pressure at the Kirk, but offensively, they're inconsistent. And the Falcons came in and ran the football solidly. Kirk didn't mess it up, and their defense played well. Even though Kirk did throw the pick six, it was a tip ball. But I don't know. Something about this Falcons team has been inconsistent all year. And the Saints, they have a mess. They're in the need of a rebuild. The defensive side is getting older. And I just think it's just time. It's going to take some time for Kellen Moore and his roster to get restructured. Then we're going to have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Los Angeles Rams. I'm dropping the Bucs. They have a lot of injuries. And then we're talking about Baker Mayfield now being down. This team has been injury plagued the last couple of weeks. Defensively, they tried their best to keep in the game, but the offense has just been hampered by injuries, whether it's Bucky, whether it's Mbeka Buka's had time, whether it's Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and now Baker. Injuries are catching up to Tampa. Now, and then the Rams, I think, are the best. Me, in my opinion, I think they're playing the best in the league right now. Between them and New England, I think those two teams are playing the best. Stafford is playing MVP level. That defense is making things tough. They get after you. And this team is the most complete team in football, at least in my opinion. Last but not least, we have the Carolina Panthers, versus the San Francisco 49ers. I'm keeping the Panthers at B, even though offensively they kind of struggled a bit. Defensively, they made some key turnovers and stops, but the offenses couldn't do anything from it. I'm going to keep the Niners at A for now. It's just they turned the ball over way too much. Brock Purdy with the interceptions, 3 of them. And Bryce Young made a critical throw interception late. It kind of really hurt this team. So I like the Panthers, but it's just they are a bit inconsistent in my book. They really are. And the Niners, despite all the injuries, they're right in the thick of things. But that's all I have. Make sure you guys leave this video. Like, comment your thoughts, share, click the subscribe button, notification bell, all that good stuff. Goal to 6K subs before the end of 2025. I am APW Sports signing out. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.